Hey man, I ain't even. I'm there. He's already. We just start the podcast. The man's already getting up. This is ridiculous, man. What an opening to a podcast. So I really feel like I don't even need to put much of an introduction on this one. We already got all kinds of interruptions and whatnot going on. Mo,
yo,
bro,
what up, boy?
We've been waiting to do this one for a minute, my guy.
You already know the business.
Yeah, I mean it's been a cool minute. You and I have been talking. We've been homies for a long time.
Yes,
and we've been talking about doing a legitimate podcast since we began being friends.
Yeah, let me say what up to you first, though, because I came in here, I didn't even say what up. You know, I wanted to keep the energy alive before I got in here. So, what's up, bro?
Yeah, bro, really did. He actually came in here with his mouth closed, like zip lips, wouldn't say a word. He wanted to keep it all for the podcast.
You already know.
Which I appreciate, bro. Sometimes you get in here, you get chopping it up with people, and you get everything that you wanted to get out in the podcast.
In the beginning, right?
Like,
that's what I was thinking. I was like, if I get in here, if I come in here, yo, what up, Pi? What's going on, bro? What the fuck? What, yeah? And then we're going to talk about everything. And then, like, I'll forget some stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to save it all for here. Give them all the hot gossip. You know what I'm saying? So
hot gossip.
Thank you for having me for real.
Hot gossip.
I appreciate it.
All right. Hey, bro, we're going to do some random questions. I got a random question generator.
For sure. How you been, by the way?
Good, bro.
Yeah?
Just chilling. Yeah.
How's the girl?
She's good.
Yeah?
Yeah. You just heard we have to go to Sedona tonight.
I see you, bro. I like this haircut, too. Swagging out.
Yeah. Hey,
I see you.
I feel like I'm going to lose my hair here sometime
Oh
in the next
my
couple
God,
of years.
bro. You got
I'm getting used to it.
This guy's got hair for days. Don't listen to this guy. Literally. He's got lush-ass Persian hair.
Oh, man.
And this boy is cutting it. I don't know why.
You can, you know, I don't know. Honest to God, I feel like it's easier to just have short beard, short hair, and not have to worry about it. You know what I mean?
Them Drake vibes.
Yeah,
I see you,
bro.
boy. I see
Drake.
you.
Why do you think Drake comes up with such great raps?
Oh, yeah? Because
he doesn't have to worry about his hair, bro.
Oh, is that why?
That's
All right,
exactly
okay,
why. That's
all right,
exactly
okay,
why.
Okay.
All right, we're going to get some random questions in here. Give me a second.
Let's get it, man.
So we're going to do 3 random questions. I don't care how offended you are by them. You have to answer.
All right, let's get it.
All right. First one, what challenge would you like to see your best friend take on?
Whew.
First of all, you got to say who that friend would be. You got to specify.
Ah.
And then I need to know what said challenge would be for that person.
I want to see Piam get to 1 million subscribers.
Ooh.
That's the challenge I got.
All right.
You see what I'm saying?
All right. That's a goal already.
We gotta gas the team up, bro. Come on now.
Respect.
Who else would I gas up?
Respect. Real shit.
Yeah, bro. You've been doing this for a minute, so I know it's just a matter of time before you get there. So
real shit.
For sure. That's definitely a tangible goal for you.
100%.
That's why I say it.
100%. Actually, my vision board has so I took a million subscriber plaque off of like Google, and I edited in Ziza brand over the name of whoever got that plaque.
Just fit visualization. You see the million followers.
It's on there, man.
All right, I see you.
All right, question number 2. If it was possible to transplant your brain to stay alive for another 100 years, would you? That's a question of mortality.
Can I tell you something, man? This is the crazy part because I was talking to some friends the other day. I was saying, you know what? If you could live forever, would you do it? And I kind of like, I don't know, it tied in with the concept of, I guess, like spreading the knowledge while you're here and then taking off and then the knowledge just being passed down and passed down. I don't know. I find more beauty in doing that than me living forever and then like just either 1, hating my life or 2, just seeing myself like go crazy. I feel like living forever, you'd be like, dude, I don't know.
Dude,
I'd be part
of life is that it's finite. You know what I mean?
Right?
That's like one of
there's an ending.
Fundamental concepts of life is that it ends.
Exactly.
That's like part of being.
So I don't know if I'd live for 100 years, but I would want to stop before 100 for sure. I mean, what about you? You want to stay past 100, bro? I can't look at your ugly ass face for 100 years, bro.
The disrespect. The disrespect.
Boy, this is your podcast, but I'll be up in this bitch, bro. Come on now.
Look, so my thing is, I would live past 100, but I don't know, like, if someone said, let me put it this way. If an angel came down to me when I was 97 and said, yo, we're going to give you an extra 100, I'd be like, can I take an extra 20?
I guess 100 isn't bad. I guess like it all depends. But like if someone told me like before the start of my life you're gonna live till 100, I'm down. I guess
till 100. But see, the thing is, at past 100, I feel like your quality of life goes so far down just because of like your inability to do certain things. Like all those different things would make it not worth living between 100 and 200.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? If my quality of life was still there, I'd be about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, so you want to be forever young, 100.
Not forever young, just forever capable to like take care of myself. Like I don't want to be a burden on my dad. I think I got this from my dad because my dad always used to say like he never wants to be a burden on anyone in the family as he ages.
Yeah.
And you can see it in him right now, even like he's trying his hardest to like do everything around the house by himself still and like take care of everything by himself. Like be his own person so no one else really has to do shit for him type shit. So
man, I feel that.
That's kind of a more personal perspective to that, but I think it plays a big part.
Yeah, take me out, bro. I ain't trying to live for that many years. I'm cool with it, you know.
What's the most difficult thing about being you? That's a real interesting question.
That is the most difficult thing about being me. I would have to say, I think this is like with anybody who's creative, it's the chase for perfection, you know.
What is perfection?
Well, I mean, to everyone it's different, but you know, to me, it's like what I want. You know, it's like what my perfection is in my head. Like if I paint something, I want to paint it to the picture that I put in my head instead of like, oh yeah, it's done. I don't know, this is it. You know, I don't know.
I feel like the pursuit of perfection on a creative project can ruin the project sometimes.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. It's overthinking, overanalyzing, and it totally could fuck it up. But I think that's like the worst trait that I have about myself is like, I'm always chasing that perfection when like we all know that, you know, what you're doing, like perfection is inevitable, I guess you can say, you know, and I think everyone knows that, you know, it's like you can never really reach it because there's never really perfection. It's just kind of like those imperfections are what make things perfect, you know?
I was about to say that perfection is like in the eye of the beholder, much like beauty, you know what I mean? Especially with creative stuff, bro. Like I could promise you a lot of the songs that I think are perfect that I listen to, other people don't see it, and even maybe the artist doesn't think it was perfect for release. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think that's something you got to take in stride, especially as a creator. And I wouldn't have that kind of in-depth, I guess, information on that kind of topic because I'm not a musician. I'm not a painter. You know what I mean? Like I'm creative just in a different respect. Yeah. And when you're working on individual projects that you feel like need to be perfect, it's like a completely different story.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're almost painting a new picture with every song, with every album. You know what I mean? So more so like on in my respect, I'm building brands. That's the creativity that I like to have. And that's a much more long-term project. So I guess like piece by piece, I could say I'm looking for perfection. But when each individual project is its own painting, like you would be doing, it's like completely different.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was talking to this I don't know if we're going to touch up on it, but I do that whole interview thing with the artist where I call the artist, talk to them.
What are you calling those right now?
Right now I'm calling it Chop It Up. I'm sorry, I'm trying to like cross plug right now. It's called Chop It Up. So pretty much what I do is I talk to artists from around the world that I have a lot of respect for, that I see a lot of potential in, that I really fuck with. And I just talk to them, you know, like normal conversation. Right now we're obviously in a weird time. So like, it's hard to go talk to people, you know, there's still that stigma of like, is this real or is this not real what we're dealing with right now? And on top of that, like, it's a great time for us to be able to communicate and like be connected worldwide because, well, I mean, in a sense, we're all kind of like, if you were to think about it, what's the difference between my friend staying home compared to someone in Russia or whatever staying home? Like we're all home. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So we all, I guess, I just gave them a platform to speak and to talk about what they're doing right now because we're all locked up and, you know, there's
locked up.
Exactly, bro. So there's just so many people just locked up right now. No pun or no, you know, I'm not trying to, But everyone's just, you know, caged in right now. And, you know, people need an outlet to be able to talk about what they're doing. So anyways, I was talking to this guy. His name's Adam K. He does Tomorrowland Radio and ADE Radio. And
is that actually related to Tomorrowland or
yes,
is it?
Sir.
Okay.
Yep. So he's contracted. I don't know. He works with, I don't know the stigma or whatever goes behind it, but he works with Tomorrowland Radio and he reached out to me. And I was like, yeah, man, I've done a project for him for his stuff that he has a whole podcast that he does. But I went to talk to him and, you know, he's a very well-spoken man. And he told me it's like, you know, as long as you do everything, kind of going back to the perfection thing, it's like, as long as you do everything to your full potential, there's no other, you know, like at least you gave it your all. Like everything that you do, you want to put 100% in it, whether it's a flyer, whether it's a song, whether it's you presenting yourself to people, you know, you want to give it your all so that you're not, you know, kicking your ass or kicking yourself in the ass later on saying, fuck, you know, this I could have changed this or I could have changed that.
It's like if your name's on it, you want to put the right
stamp.
You
want to put that.
You want to reflect yourself the right way.
Exactly.
More than anything.
For some reason, it's weird because that's like a pretty obvious thing to know. You know, you know these type of things, you know, do the best you can with everything.
Right.
But to hear it from someone like that, like, hey, everything that you got to do, like, I guess it was just a nice refresher, because I feel like nowadays people are trying to keep up with content so fast, and they're just spitting that stuff out. And sometimes it can get a little wonky because you're overexerting yourself on trying to, you know, be a leg up. But it was good to hear from him, at least, you know, like, make sure you know, take your time with everything and make sure everything is to perfection, or however you see perfection in your eyes, you know?
And that's a concept of like, make sure that you're comparing yourself to who you were yesterday, not where someone else is today.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as long as you're comparing yourself to who you were yesterday,
Yeah.
and you're making sure that what you're doing is putting you a step forward towards your goals and not a step. Man, you know what's weird?
What's up?
A lot of people have goals that they set for themselves.
Yeah.
And they're really just goals that other people have that they're like pseudo pursuing.
What do you mean? Like, they're
like people are saying that they have their own goals, but they're really just striving for the same goal that like
everyone
a group
else
of
is.
people that they're associated with.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I mean,
which is weird.
But I mean, don't you see it as the reason why is because they want to see themselves in the same light as, you know, so they're taking the same steps to get to the same spot that person is?
Yes, and I agree with you. I agree with where you're going. But
not knocking it, by the way. If like some people want to go that route, they can. But is that like, yeah?
My question is more so whether or not people have actually given thought to their goals and like decided this is something that I want for me, and what is the backing for that goal?
Yeah.
Versus I saw someone else do that and it looks kind of dope.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what is your purpose behind having that goal?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once you reach that goal, once you get the car, you hit that money amount, or you hit this or hit that, what is the purpose behind it? What are the implications? What are you going to do after?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the after your goals that really, I think in the last couple months, I've really come to realize that too, is like the after portion of reaching your goals is more important than actually setting and reaching those goals.
Yeah.
Like, what are your
1000%.
implications for after you get there?
1000%. That's 100,
So,
like 1000. You are so right on that. I think, well, what it is that I think, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like some people can find some ease to getting, you know, reaching that goal. But I think as creatives or whatever you're doing, it's never, depending on who you are, it's never an end, you know, you're always going on. You get to that one goal, but there's always a goal after that, or a goal that leads up to that one. Oh, you found out about this. Let's say, I don't know, let's just base it off what I know. I know music. So you follow, I don't know, X artist, and they're releasing on X label. And that's your goal. You really
want to be on that same level.
I want to be on that same level. So I'm going to go that route. But I just found out that they're also making their own record label. That's now a new goal of me. Now I'm there. Well, now I'm hanging out with these people and they're doing this and they're all talking about this. Well, here's my new goal. And it all depends, but it all depends on the person. You know, some people just want to get to that one goal and that's it. But like, I think as creatives and as people, like, we always strive for the next thing. And I don't know, it might be just like a me thing, because I'm always like trying to, I don't know, like the chase of perfection, but the goal is always just, it's just another check mark and then another box added, another box added, check mark. There's 3 more boxes under that. The
list never finishes.
Yeah, it just never finishes, because you just want to like keep growing and keep getting bigger, or not bigger in that sense, but like in the sense of
keep growing as a person.
Yeah, as growing and getting bigger in that sense. And like, I don't know, man. It just all depends on the person though, for sure. You know what I'm saying? It just all depends. But me and you, bro, we moving.
That's true.
I see you.
Bro, you and the thing is, like, you were here long before Ziza, bro. You've been around since way back. Yeah. Like since my other projects and stuff. And I think that's one of the things that kept us friends, because there were a lot of other people around me at the same time that you were around me that I didn't end up being as close with. Yeah. I feel like that level of mutual respect for one another, which is really what a friendship is to me, is a level of mutual respect, for sure. No doubt. But that level of respect came from how we saw one another working on what we cared about. Yeah. First and foremost.
We saw growth in each other right off the
Or potential for it. Right. Potential for it at the very least. And I feel that way about a lot of the people I keep close to me. It's all people that I see potential to grow in. Like there's something that's a really big turnoff about seeing someone and do you ever get that feeling that someone just doesn't have any drive or oomph for themselves to go anywhere. Dude. Such a turn off, man.
It is. And you know what's shitty? And you know, don't follow my footsteps, guys. I mean, it's up to you. But this is kind of how I see it. And maybe I'm just being too realistic with it, or maybe I'm just being too cruel. But I've realized that in my lifespan, and you know, maybe some people can agree with me, but there's just so many people who are just, and this is not a knock on anybody, but there's just so many people who just talk, but don't walk. You know what I'm saying? And it's so tough because you care about them. You care about those people, but at the same time, it's like you got to realize what's best for your life and what you got to really surround yourself around. Like when I was kicking it, fucking. Oh, can I cuss on here? I'm so sorry. I didn't think about that. All right, cool. When I was kicking it, you know, when I first moved out here, like I was hanging out with just people that weren't helping me go further. You know,
we all been there, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And they ended up actually hating me because I ended up cutting them out because I just realized that they just want to stay one space. You know, it's just. This is where we're at. My parents own this, so I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. It's just set in stone for me, and I'm just like, dude, and nothing against you. I, you know, love those people who they are. You know, one of my older friends, but at the same time, like they didn't want growth, and at the end of the day, I mean, I will always be friends with them, but I have to realize who I really need close to me because in an everyday situation, you know, you have to have that motivation and mentality that like, all right, well, my friends are out there getting it. I got to get it too. You know, it kind of like puts a spark in you, you know, that there's more out there. And for there to have, if you to have people around you who are doing the same thing, it kind of just excels you, you know?
Or even just people to bounce. Like a hard part about being a creative or a hard part about being a business owner is like the lack of people to actually have genuine conversation with. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes growth-minded conversations are difficult to have because people who aren't growth minded in general lack the ability, the capacity to talk about those things, right? Like talking about ideas is a very difficult thing to do. You have to be very, open, right? And you have to be able to think about different directions of things. People who are one directional can't have those conversations.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
So it's like,
but it sucks.
Picking and choosing your friends in that respect is like one of the beautiful parts about being a human, though. Yeah, you know what I mean? Having the liberty to pick and choose your friends is something that makes us amazing.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like you know, I'm not condoning like cutting people out, but you got to remember like if there's a goal you have in mind, you got to remember like your friends are. My dad always told me like your friends are a big depiction of who you are, you know, as a person. The people you hang out with, the people that are around you, you know, like they kind of resemble who you are because, I mean,
it's the family you get to choose.
Exactly.
Literally, it's your family that you choose.
Exactly. So it's like you want to, I mean, again, you can, you know, hang out with those people. Those people are always fun to be around. And like, if those are your friends, you know, fuck yeah. Like I'm all about my homies, but you know, if you see yourself trying to move forward, like you want to surround yourself around people who are trying to move too, because you get inspired, you know, like. You know? I'm
gonna go against what you're saying because I completely condone cutting people off.
I do too. No, I do. I mean, I do too to a certain extent. Like, so like I have friends that I've cut off before, and like, and I've done it for the reasons of like, you know, like this person has done me wrong or have done things that I just don't agree with. Like, right. You know, and it's just like personal choice, and it's nothing against them. And I cut them out in my own way though. Like they're still my friends, but like
you don't see
I keep
them
the
as often,
distance.
Right.
I keep the distance.
You kind of pump the brakes.
Yeah, because you got at the end of the day, you got to you got to put your mentality into like, you know, where you're trying to go. And it's tough to like, I think Snoop Dogg said it, you know, it's like, and this is kind of what I use every time I think about this shit is that, you know, everyone starts here. There's a level. Everyone starts at this level. Okay. And depending on what you're doing, let's just say we're all in, we're doing podcasting, right? Everyone's going up. Like I'm going up, you know, I'm trying to go. I'm trying to make this shit go higher and higher and higher and better and the quality of everything. I'm trying to go up. But you got friends that ride the coattail and they hang out here. The thing is that
if I gotta keep peeking back,
if you're gonna help friends out, you're pulling yourself back down, and that stops you from getting what you want to get. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's just yourself, man. Like you got to remember that. So the gap has to be closed by them coming with you. Right. They have to keep up. They have to.
I can't pull you.
I can't pull you.
Right.
And you know, he said this as well. Like stars are born; they're not made. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying, you know, we're all stars here, but like, you know, whatever you're doing, like. everyone's got to keep up. You know what I'm saying?
I think that whole stars are born not made thing has some truth to it, but at the same time, like I think everyone's born a star. It's just some people choose not to
use their full potential.
Right?
Yeah,
like you choose, and maybe it's. I'm gonna gather my words before I say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe it's not that people are choosing not to go to their full potential. Maybe it's that people aren't exposed. Right? People don't have any access to people who are striving that way.
Makes sense. Yeah.
They don't have any access to learning what it means to be that person. So they never understand how to do it. They never understand what steps to take to get there.
No, I feel you.
So maybe that's a part of it. That's something I've been ruminating on for like the past couple of days, quite honestly. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm not condoning like cutting friends out, but it's just all about balance. You know, you got to know what is good for you to go forward and what is holding you back, and you know what you want to achieve with your life and how you see yourself. And yeah, man, at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you, you know. And sometimes those people that, you know, they kind of hold you back a little bit because they have other intentions with your time that you could be spending on making yourself better. And
damn, they have other intentions for your time.
Exactly. And they have other intentions for your time. They don't, you know, like you, hey, I got to stay in the studio today, or I got to finish this podcast today. Oh, bro, come on. Like tonight we're going out, you know, like, fuck. Like, you know, it's like, we should respect that. And those are the people, you know, and there are people who aren't doing the same things as you. And, you know, maybe they just are okay with their, you know, like cool, chill life. But those people,
and that's totally fine.
And those people who are okay with, you know, what you're doing, you know, they usually motivate you. They're like, hell yeah, bro. Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll hang out another time. Go get it. You know, there's people who support you and like, you know,
those aren't the people that bother me. The people that bother me are the spiteful ones who want to be doing something and won't ask for help. Like, bro, if you ask me for help, right, I'll give you all the tools that I have. I'll give you all the information that I have. Yeah, I'll give you all the information that I have. I'm not going to do it for you.
Yeah.
But I'll give you what I know. Any knowledge I have, bro, knowledge is free.
Yeah.
Right? More now than
yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people have only been reading books for like 500 years. If you think about it in grand scheme.
Wow.
Think about it.
Really?
Real shit.
Jesus.
Right? So knowledge is free.
Yeah.
If you go and seek it out.
Yeah.
So if you ask me for help, bro, I'll help you. Or I'll show you the tools to get there. But don't expect me to again pull your weight up for you and bring you to my level so we can be on an even playing field.
Shit,
you got to do that work.
Yeah, exactly.
And what makes me mad, or I'm not even going to say it makes me mad, it bothers me as a person, is when people want to do something, but their frustration leads them to spite you.
I mean,
their frustration leads them to try to like, chop you down.
It's inevitable though. I feel like that's with anybody, you know, like it's easy to get caught up in like, and this social media is actually a big tie to this, because social media kind of does that to you, like
without you trying
without
to?
the intention. Yeah. Because,
why do you say that?
Well, because you see everybody succeeding sometimes, you know, and there are those people who like, fuck, I'm not doing this. Like,
that's your ego, bro. That's an ego talking though.
Yeah, of course. But I'm just saying, like, it could happen, you know, like that could happen for people, you know, like, and that's why there's frustration and spite, because they see you going up and up and they're like feeling stuck or whatever, or however they feel, you know, and that could lead to them, you know, either disliking you or feeling like they can't be as close to you because they feel like maybe you think they're better, or, you know, just little things like that, you know. It's But anyways, yeah.
Let's talk about music. When did you start producing?
Man,
how long have you been in the music game in general? Because this is like your third or fourth alias, isn't it?
Yeah, man. So I've been producing music since I was I was like 13 or 14. When I was younger, I went to my first rave back in the day, like
back when
2008,
it was
2007. Yeah. And I fell in love with it, man. I was just like, dude, this culture is so dope. Like, went in there, no expectations whatsoever, and I came out the happiest person ever. And I remember my godfather, who baptized me when I was younger, his name is Rick, and he was the DJ for my parents back in the day with my dad. Him and his homeboys, they used to, you know, party it up and have fun. So this is like in like the vinyl era. And he used to, you know, my Uncle Rick used to bring his crates and used to set up at the parties.
And you know, DJ vinyl?
DJ all night for everybody, playing like all the dopest records, you know. And my dad told me about this and told me like all the culture behind it and how like my dad used to break dance as well. So like he was really in tune with the music industry, or not industry, but the music scene and all these dope hip hop records. And he was like, you know, you want to learn how to DJ? You should go talk to your uncle Rick. Like he'll teach you what's up. So I went over there one night and he was like, yo, like this is my setup. He showed me everything. We spent 3 days without sleep. Like just DJing and showing me like what this is all about, the culture. And like we played 2 shows in 3 days, or we played 3 shows in 3 days, 2 at night and 1 in the afternoon. And these are shows he had booked already. And he just, you know, he's an open format. And I just loved it, dude. And I was like, damn, this is so dope. Like, I wish I could do more than this though. You know, I want to do something that's more creative. And he handed me my first copy of FL Studio.
I was about to ask, are you on FL or what do you use? Okay.
So he handed me my first disc, my first FL Studio disc, and I was like, all right, for sure. So I downloaded it. I got the software and I just started playing with it and I loved it. And
damn,
then,
you got plugged up for free too.
Yeah,
Shit.
bro. I know it was like an old ass version of FL, but that was the first time that I like seen what this was all about. And then once I started kind of getting more into it, then I started, you know, digging deeper on what I really liked. And, you know, it
like
was,
what kind of sound, what
sound
music,
I liked, the music I liked, because at the same time I was DJing, he was showing me all this open format stuff. So I was just literally looking up anything I could get my hands on that was dope. Excuse me. My dad put me onto a lot of shit and just a lot of hip hop records. And I don't know, there's something about me that I just wanted to recreate it. You know, I wanted to make something that was mine. So I was always after school, I would come home. I had this bootleg ass laptop that I bought like off Craigslist off of some like DJ guy.
Right.
So I bought it and I was just learning and I was, you know, trying to figure it all out. And then when I turned about 18, I got my first like MacBook. So then I really like, okay, I'm going to buy all the real stuff. I'm going to really hone down on this. So through college, I would just every day I come home from school, work on music. And this is when like I started realizing what like the dance music scene was all about. And
it was growing around that time too, I bet.
It was. So it was like around 2000. So I went to my first rave at like 2007. I was really into like techno and like super hardcore, like doom, 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 you know, 40, 140, just hard dance music. And then I found out, you know, about, you know, Steve Aoki started his whole label and I was like listening to it every day, like just new records, Bloody Beetroots, Justice, like all these French labels, you know, Ed Banger, everything. I was
a lot of good EDM out of Europe, bro.
That
Eastern
was like
Europe areas and shit.
Yeah, that was just like that in that time frame. That was when dance music was still becoming prevalent to the radio waves and everything. And it wasn't really mainstream yet, but like it was really big on the internet since the internet was like booming and people were finding music on the internet. So I found this whole genre of music that I was just like, whoa, this shit is just so cool. And I always try to recreate it. And I ended up tying in with one of my good friends. I wanted to DJ now because I was literally had a whole studio in my room and I wasn't playing for anybody. It was just me in my room. That's it. Just every day practicing
studio sessions.
Oh, dude, my dad, man, he actually helped me out a lot. He put a lot of money into my studio. I didn't even have a bedroom, bro. It was just literally a futon and it would just pop out. I would sleep on it.
Yes, sir.
Put it back. And then it was just a whole studio setup. So when I finally got of age to like, you know, really want to go do things in like 18, I guess at the time, because when I was going to these raves, it was like, I was way young. I wasn't supposed to be there. I definitely was not supposed to be there. But when I got of age, I was like, all right, well, like I really want to know what's up. I want to be on the performance side. No, I would take that back. It was like 17. And one of my good friends, Erica, at the time, she had a boyfriend named Albert, who was actually one of my best friends still till this day. And he was playing all these raves all the time. And he was like, you know, a name coming up in the local scene. And I was like, man, like, can you show me how to do this stuff? And she's like, well, I talked to her first and she's like, yeah, come to a show with us. And he invited me on stage. Like, yeah, man, let's go. Like, you know, let's see what it's all about. Got on stage with him, man. And like, once he started playing, like the energy just took over, bro. I just realized and knew at that point, this is what I'm meant to do. Like, I was like, this is it. Because he was just DJing there and like standing and I was the one fucking hyping the crowd and getting into it. And I was just the energy that it gave me. I was just like, dude, this is it. Like
it's like invigorating.
It just made me feel so good. And then, you know, as I'm making music as well, like I'm feeling the same type of energy, you know, like yes, like this is something that I want to make, you know? And I don't know, I just like kind of took over from there. And I've just been hooked ever since, man. Like just working and working and progressing and progressing. And so to answer your story or answer your question shortly, it's been about like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah. And you have a very cohesive style across everything you do. I think one of the things that I like about specifically how every artist, in my opinion, is a business owner in their own respect.
Yeah.
Right. Every artist kind of like building your brand, building out your artist brand is like building out a business brand. And you do things stylistically from how you look personally, like your style, to the visual style that you take on for posters and like cover art and all those different kinds of things. And your music is all really cohesive.
Thank you.
And it's all very unique to you, I feel like.
Well, at the end of the day, I think this is something that I like to tell people is that when you do this shit, man, you got to just be true to yourself.
Right.
Like, don't try to paint something that you're not. And because at the end of the day, like you're going to try to do this shit, right? And let's just say you put on this mask that is something that isn't you. You're going to get so burnt out so fast just putting this face on every day. You know what I'm saying? It's like, be true to yourself. Paint something that is cool and true to you. What makes it so much easier, you know?
And that goes right back to compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to anyone else today. You know what I mean? Because I would be willing to bet money that there are times you've made decisions about your brand in the past that were predicated on some shit other people were doing that was popping them off and shit like that. Yeah. See?
And it kind of goes with like,
and I bet that didn't feel right to you when you did it either.
Well, at the time you got to remember, like in the beginning, you kind of look for answers, you know, you look for those answers, and sometimes those answers you feel like are in those people who are already doing it. Right. So you kind of have to like, in a way, mimic. Because when you're first starting, you don't really know, you know, you don't know that these are the mistakes you're making. You don't know that this is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do.
That's how you figure it out, though.
Exactly.
Right.
So those are the mistakes you have to make.
Right.
So, and that's how you come to the point where you figure out what is working for you or what you want out of it, because you see the trials and the errors and what worked and what didn't. And then you kind of base it on how you are. Okay, well, you know what? This is how I see myself. This is how I want to paint it. I've done this before and it didn't really work. So like, this is how I want to do it.
And then at that point is where you start, like, I'm trying to figure out like where you put that mental blockage, right? For myself, so like I feel like there has to be a certain point where you're like, I'm willing to listen to others' opinions and take what they have to say into consideration, but I'm also not going to do anything that I feel jeopardizes my vision of my thing.
Of course. And at the end of the day, you got to remember, you just got to do what makes you happy, because you see it on the day-to-day basis of people just breaking their ass, and for what? Just because you're trying to get a check, or, you know, it's like, do this because you love it and put that time into your craft so that it looks the way you want to do it, you know, and make it look the way you feel is representable of you, you know, because at the end of the day, it's like the business that you're representing is yourself. Like, people say like, oh yeah, this is the brand. Like, yeah, I get the brand, but like at the end of the day, the brand is you, you know, this is you as a person expressing who you are. Exactly. And at the end of the day, like, that's just how it has to be. And some people, you know, they have an idea, you know, some people are directors, you know, in their head, they can paint a depiction of something else that they are really full forced in, you know, like, for instance, I think it's Snails, the DJ. He's really good at, and in an interview I've heard of his, he likes to do stories in his head. You know, he likes to make the characters and everything, and like when he's making a song, he maps it out as a everything, like the whole his brand. He's a storyteller, and everybody that he has on his team, he tries to help them paint that story as well, you know. And some people are good at that, and that's okay. And you can do that all day. Those are artistic ass people, and so, you know, if that's how you feel, then, you know, that's how you should do it. But at the end of the day, you got to remember, like, what's true to you, that's true to him, because that's what he loves to do. You know, he loves to paint pictures and create a story behind things, you know, paint a story for people. Right. So it all depends, man. It's like, it's however you see yourself, and you got to discover yourself. Yeah. You got to discover yourself, man. You got to, trial and error is everything. You know, yeah, I agree. Especially in anything creative. Anything, sure. any sense, even at work, man. Like, you make the mistake once, you won't make it again. You know, right? So, right. That makes sense. What do you have music coming out right now? Because you dropped a couple songs like maybe a month and a half ago. Yeah, so I dropped a EP Well, let's start from the beginning. I did some vocal records with Econova Medicine on Insomniac.
Who we will be having on the podcast
Cool
next
ass dude.
after
Dude.
After Mo, we'll have Echo Nova on.
Yeah, cool ass guy. We did a record together. That was my first feature, and then after that, connected me with Emily Blossom.
Right.
We did Buzzing together on Do Not Duplicate.
Right. I love that track,
that record's
bro.
dope.
That shit
Thank
goes
you.
hard.
That's on Do Not Duplicate on Bijou's label. And then after that, I did a compilation with Insomniac. I did, after the whole vocal record thing, I wanted to do something that was more what I do every day,
And
which
that's
is production.
Right. And that's with In Rotation.
And that is with Insomniac In Rotation. That's their house label.
Right.
We put out Get It Together with them. It was on their compilation. And then after that, they reached out to me and asked if I wanted to do an EP. So we did a 3-record EP that came out also on In Rotation, which I love a fuck ton. I think it's important when you make music in my opinion, is to paint a picture, like I visually see what I'm making because
right.
I like picture things that I like to see. Like for instance, like one thing that I love to see is like a smoky room that's dark, warehouse, very echoey and reverby, can't really see in front of you, sweaty. I depict those things when I paint these pictures,
Right.
So I did this whole EP and I kind of had that visualization and it came out. It was dope. And right now, I can't really say anything. I know it sucks. I hate this so much, but I can't really say anything right now. But I have, if I can
There's
get
stuff
generalization,
in the vault on the way.
if I got, I got like 2 EPs ready to go, and hopefully they'll come out soon. You guys will have to just tune in and wait for it. But yeah, man, I'm excited because I'm like starting to really figure out what I like and what I don't like, and how my sound I want it to be, and how I want it to be perceived, and it's coming out good, man. I'm actually really excited. It's been very stressful and a lot of anxiety going into it because again, it's like, you have a lot of alone time to yourself to like really figure out what you want to do. But at the end of the day, man, I love like everything that I'm doing, and I'm like really excited to put these records out, like super pumped, man.
How do you feel about live stream culture since coronavirus, since COVID-19?
Dude, I fucking love it, man. Honestly, like I said before, I'm doing my own streaming stuff where I interview artists from around the world, and I love it, man. And like kind of keeps us all connected in a way, and I was talking to Adam K about this. It's like he asked me the same thing. He was saying, what is the future of this? And I feel like this type of stuff is here to stay because we're pretty much unlocking a new avenue of connection, and I think we kind of put it under the rug a little bit because personal connection sometimes can be very daunting and scary.
Yep.
Like people don't like having those conversations face to face sometimes, but like in this era, I feel like now we're like, we want it because we have less interaction with people. So we kind of want that feeling of being able to talk to somebody or like get to know somebody. So
I think people are really just afraid of saying the wrong, like, and air quotes around this.
This whole
listening,
man,
the wrong thing.
Oh, dude, I've probably been saying the whole wrong thing this whole fucking time. Honestly,
That's what I'm saying. There is no such thing as saying the wrong thing,
like,
bro. People need to learn that conversation is all just about like, actually having a conversation.
Yeah.
Like speak exactly what you feel and what you think and go from there.
Yeah.
Don't try to like, duplicate what anyone else was saying or regurgitate someone else's information because that doesn't lead you anywhere. But like at the end of the conversation, you feel empty because you didn't really get anything out of it. You're just regurgitating some shit other people said.
Yeah, pretty much. So, man. But I think this shit's here to stay, man. I love talking to people. Like, I hope more people are getting comfortable with doing it because I feel like obviously human connection is important to us. So, if people are quarantining at home, they should definitely like reach out and be talking to people because it's important, man. It's like keeps you kind of sane, It's like seeing your friend after a really long time of just being alone. It's like, wow, I missed you,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
And then have you heard about the drive-in shows that might potentially be a thing?
Shit. Yes, dude.
What's your view on that? As the artist, how would you feel performing to what would primarily be the face of a bunch of cars?
Oh man, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, if I was performing at this, how would I feel?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I would feel good. Honestly, I think it's a kind of a cool thing because we're still creating that, even though I kind of feel like people are not gonna abide by just because I feel like anywhere you go where you're meeting up with a bunch of people.
I feel like people are just gonna get out of
That's
the
what I
cars
was
and call
thinking.
it a
I was
day
like, I feel like
anyways.
they're just gonna like bunch up in the front and just have it happen, you know?
Unless they're like heavy on security.
Well, I hope they are. I really hope they are, but I feel like the like just the idea of being able to see somebody you want to and just walk over there. I feel like some people are like, well, we're just gonna go there for a little bit, and it's like now it's just racking up on people being like packed up. And but again, I actually like the idea. I think it's great doing the idea of, you know, at least having some type of space for people where they can be in their car if they do feel like they should not be like in that space with other people and they still want to be able to, you know, be out there with everybody. So I actually like the idea. I think it's really innovative, and I think that
You could do like truck vibes too, like bring a truck in, put the
yeah,
thing down.
bro,
like,
that's what I was
you know
saying.
what I mean?
Exactly.
That'd be cool.
I was thinking, like, is it gonna be like, you know, when you go to the drive-in movie and you have to dial in that AM radio station?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be like that, bro?
Nah.
Imagine. That'd be funny as fuck, yo. Tune into this radio station. Like,
Quite honestly, I think if they're gonna do drive-in shows like that for especially like EDM purposes, I think they're gonna go even heavier on production value. Like the LED boards and stuff, they're gonna go wild with them
for sure. And like, man, honestly, like I was telling my girlfriend yesterday, like I kind of want to go to it just to see what it's gonna be like. You know, like what is this whole thing? Is this the new wave of how we're gonna access live music for the time being? Like, I don't know. I hope this all ends soon though, because I do miss being in a crowd and I do miss going to shows and stuff. So
yeah,
it's one thing that I really like, because I find inspiration in that type of stuff. You know, going and seeing how crowds react and the lighting that's going on behind, you know, the DJ playing and the records that are being played.
Because there's a lot of people that there's a lot of people that have a hand in creating that experience altogether. Tons of people behind the scenes working on the different components of a show. So
and that's why it's so cool and commendable, because you got to think about it. At the end of the day, it's like a whole, you know, everyone has to work in collective. You know, it's like somebody's VDJing, someone's doing the visuals, someone's doing the lights, you know, someone's curating the music, you know, and it's just like, I don't know, the whole thing together when it works, it just works, and it's super cool. So.
Yeah, it's nice to see that kind of collaboration. I feel that because of like I've worked behind the scenes at RB shows, and that was really nostalgic for me every time I did it, because I remember like being in drama club in high school, you know what I mean? Helping out with like set building and like going through rehearsals and this kind of like different but similar vibes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that type of like community behind the scenes stuff when it comes to putting a show together is such a family. Like it's such a tight knit community because like really you don't get much recognition for anything you're doing, right?
No.
But the amount of joy you get out of seeing it completed and like working out, bro, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Especially when you throw a really good show.
Oh yeah.
You're like, fuck yes.
And like you hear people saying they're having a good time
that shit
and
was
stuff.
crazy.
Yeah, right?
Ugh.
Crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
I love that. But yeah, I miss shows, man. I just want to go back to normal, but I'm patient, you know. I'm not tripping. No more music I get to work on, so
yeah,
you know.
Any whack artists you heard of lately?
Oh man,
I love talking about whack. Like 6ix9ine's back out.
I ain't doing that right now. You trying to get me caught up?
Not even caught up,
trying
bro.
to look like a hater, bro.
Look, I'm personally upset with
the whole Tekashi thing.
Yeah, bro. Like how. And there's a good possibility that like numbers are faked and shit like that. But like, for example, him getting 2 million people on his Instagram live. I mean, that was stuff like that. You can't really fake.
That was destined to happen, man. Like he's been this whole controversy around him. And then I don't want to talk too much about him because I'm actually very pro on condoning this information, because I don't agree with anything he did. So I don't want to put light on it, because fuck that shit.
Like as far as him snitching or the way he operated his career?
The way I see it is yes, I get it. You know, like you were taking care of your family, or, you know, things happened where you felt safer by doing this. I understand that.
Right.
And like apparently there was hits on his family and things like that, money stolen. So I get the idea behind it, I guess. But at the end of the day, you put yourself in that situation, you know? You're the one who put yourself with a gang. You're the one
made the decisions to get there in the first place.
You're the one who was racketeering and, you know, still putting hits on people, and you were still technically a part of that gang. Like you were doing exactly those things too. Yeah. What makes you any different than them? And for them,
well, I mean, he cites the whole like you know, they were fucking my baby mama and like this, that, and the other. Like they were disrespecting me. Why would I back them up?
But why? But
like you put yourself there in the first place to allow. See, I have a thing about you. There are certain times like when we are allowing people to disrespect us.
But
like you're putting yourself in a position to be disrespected in the first place around people who are, you know that this is how they are. This is what they do. This is their culture. This is what they were built on. This is how they live.
Yeah.
So why are you surprised when people are doing you like that?
Exactly, right? The way I see it is this, man. It's like we both, me and you, I don't know. We built this vase, right? We built this vase. It's nice. We both built it with both of our hands. Okay. I was already a vase. I already molded vases for a living.
Right.
And we did something together, and it was the best work we've ever done. Right. Everyone praises it. Everyone loves it. They think it's great. But the moment it breaks, you point your finger at me when we both broke it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what? Then what's the point of you trying to be a part of this if you're not gonna be a part of what happened through the whole
taking
situation?
Responsibility throughout.
Yeah,
right.
and again, like, I get it what he did because he was trying to help save himself. But dude, there's a code that you just don't break, bro, and that's just what it is. Like, obviously I don't know too much about it. I mean, I grew up in an area where like there's a lot of people in that type of environment.
Right.
And I was never put in that situation where I had to be a part of it. But at the end of the day, it's like, dude, that's the life you signed up for. There's a code, there's a street code in a sense that you can't be breaking. Like, that shit costs you your life. Like, that shit will cost you your life. And he decided to use it for his own good, and then
flip it. Quite literally using it for his own good, like to advance his. If that's literally what it feels like, and that's what makes me the most mad, is that he chose that lifestyle, went down that route specifically to improve his career status.
And when he didn't like
that's
it,
the weird thing, man.
That's what sucks. And again, I don't want to shed too much light on this because I don't fucking condone that type of shit. But man, I don't know. I pray for him.
Yeah,
he did it. I mean, he's doing what he's doing, and at the end of the day, I don't ever watch any of his videos. I don't watch any of it, bro.
I check it out just because, like, I'm fascinated by how someone can, like, there is Daniel Hernandez, the person, and then there's Tekashi 6ix9ine, the character.
But that's the thing, though, Payam. When you watch, you're giving into, you're helping out the cause. Like, you're giving into him being able to say, like,
I understand.
Look at all my views. Look at these views.
That.
You're adding that one extra view that's helping him get there.
I get that.
And again, like, if that's what you like, then go for it. But
not even. See, my thing with it is I'm more fascinated by the psychology behind characterizing yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Separating your identities into, like, this is me. This is a character that I have.
Yeah.
And he is a prime, like, he's an example of that to a T.
And I think he's the character now, though, bro. Honestly.
You think there is no more Daniel Hernandez?
It's just him. Yeah, it's literally just him now. He has
at some point
Tekashi.
in time. Yeah. At some point in time, one takes over the other. I guess.
If he wanted to be Daniel Hernandez, he could have snitched on everybody and then stayed quiet. But he signed another contract, $40 million contract with Elliot Grange, and he's back into Tekashi. So, like, that's just him now. Like, that's what he wants to be. He wants to be the controversial hip-hop artist that can literally have anybody stare at his shit because he's going to be screaming at you why he did nothing wrong or why this place is fucked up. Like, I think it was yesterday. I don't watch anything on his page. It was on World Star, so I'm okay to do that because I'm not pushing any shit to his. So right. I saw it there and I watched it, and he was saying something about billboards they fuck shit up on billboards. Like, this isn't right. I don't know what the stipulation was, but apparently billboards is pretty much manipulating the charts because I don't know.
They don't want to show
better
him
song or whatever. Yeah, I was like, dude, like, what? It's a controversial thing, It's just controversy for the views, controversy for to be
That's
prevalent.
What he's so good at, bro.
Exactly.
It's like searching for something to be seen for.
Yeah.
The reason I brought that up to segue into it.
Yeah.
Do you see anyone in EDM that is that same, or do you like? Because I could definitely.
Why are you trying to make me look like a hater right now, bro?
Not even as a hater, bro. Because here's my thing, bro. When you get into when you get into
call me a rap, bro.
When you get into that kind of into the music industry, like, we're sitting here talking about being genuine with what you create, right? I think Tekashi 6ix9ine is a prime example of how not to be genuine about what you're creating. It's how to characterize what you're doing for the purpose of financial gain or for the clout, for whatever.
Yeah.
And as EDM begins to grow even more so, right? I think the doors start opening up for that kind of a thing to happen within EDM as well.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting coming from a hip hop perspective, because I know you're into hip hop.
Love it.
You know what I mean?
I love the hip hop.
You know the way the industry works. You see what people do. You see all the weird shit that goes on behind the scenes, and you know how it operates. So it's like, do you think people are going to end up changing that, right, as EDM grows to have a different culture within EDM, or are they going to follow the same mistakes that hip hop's followed in respect to like the way people sign records, 50-50 deals, 360 deals, all that different kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think what it is, man, it's like, it's entertainment at the end of the day. So it's like, as long as you have something, and I won't say names. I don't know, honestly. I mean, I have, you know, my own ideas and the way I perceive certain artists, but I think at the end of the day, it's entertainment, and people want to see something that's entertaining.
But here's the core of my question. Does being entertaining only sacrifice the integrity of what you're doing? Does like music wise, or even thinking actor?
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, this is just like a known fact that some artists are ghost produced anyways. Like, they're just the entertainer, you know, like they're just the face, right. You know, and it's like, that's just what it is. That's the culture, I guess. Sometimes like some people are just, that's just what they're better at. They're better at being marketable and having someone else make their music for them than them make their own shit and possibly ruin that piece of them that could potentially knock away from everything else. Like, they look good up there, they perform well, but the music's not that good, and some people just aren't willing to put that risk, so they have someone that's able to do that for them, so that the money keeps flowing in, and or you know, the performances keep coming. And again, it's just like, it just all depends, man. It's just like whatever. It's what you want to do. Some people want to put the work in, some people don't. I have nothing against people who don't want to put the work in. You know, that's just their pathway, and that's how they want to do it. But
yeah,
we ain't rocking like that over here, boy.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it would, like, even if I were in their shoes, bro, I don't know. I guess I can't speak from that perspective because I can't put myself in that mindset.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
But it's like, I have so much respect for creativity in general and the integrity of being creative. You know what I mean? From the aspect of like, someone put time, effort, and thought into what's going on here.
Yeah.
I have so much respect for that integrity that when I see shit like that, it pisses me off because it's completely lacks any sense of integrity, but it's also gaining and gathering all of the attention.
Yeah.
You know?
You're pretty creative, dude. I mean, if you guys didn't know, me and this guy were designing shirts together when I was gonna put out a t-shirt. This guy was designing them for me. This guy got the Photoshop fucking skills for days.
Bro,
he be whipping.
I downloaded Photoshop when I was 18 in my condo in Tempe.
Nice.
Because I was a biomed major.
Boy.
And I hated it.
Really?
I just was not going to class, nothing.
You were a biomed major?
That was my first major when I came into college.
Fuck out of here. I would have been like, hell no.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's because of my family. You know what I mean? Like, it was expected on me, right?
I guess.
So I was not about it. So I was just straight up not going to class. I would stay up all night and then sleep throughout the day, but I would be messing around on Photoshop or like trying to figure out how to do this on Premiere Pro or whatever. And not because like, for one period of time, I wanted to be a YouTuber, and then I started Inspired Clothing, and I wanted to learn how to make shirts designs for the company, right? Yeah. So they all had minor purposes, I guess, at the time. And at this point, it's added up to just being able to own the means of operation that has made it so easy for me to do stuff like this, like produce this kind of a podcast or like get a business up and running, stuff like that. I think back then I was just more interested in being able to do shit that I would normally have to pay other people for. Yeah,
that's good though, because you're like, you know, you're trying to learn the ins and outs. I think that's what makes a good boss too. You know what it takes to build this. You know what it entails to be, you know, all right, I got to do this. Like, I got to do that. Okay, I don't know how to do this. I got to learn how to do this.
Processes and systems.
Yeah, and it makes you kind of like refine what you're doing. I mean, whether you're paying somebody to make a logo for you or you're making it yourself, you know, you're creating those areas for yourself to know what the ins and outs are like for your own business and how you expect things. You know what I'm saying?
And even then, you can. I think one big positive of all of that is now I know how to value what I'm paying other people for better as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I understand the value of the work that they're doing so much so that it doesn't bother me to pay them for that work because I've had that experience of trying to do it myself.
I realized that while working with you. I realized that
on the EPK,
like when we no the EPK kind of came out great, by the way.
That EPK is fire.
Yo, any DJs or any fucking clubs getting my EPK, yo, we whipped it.
Respect.
That shit is tight. But it was when we were working on the t-shirt designs.
Yeah,
I realized how and I realized the work that it took and how, you know, some people are just better at this than I am. And that's okay, you know, like, so I realized the value of being able to, you know, give somebody that, you know, the gratuity to like do something for me because I know how hard it is and like how much work it takes. And I'm like, you know what? I don't mind investing in somebody who's going to make this look better for me because at the end of the day, I'm supporting them. And at the end of the day, I'm helping my brand as well. And I'm investing in myself. Right. So I'm all about trying to like gas the next gen. You know what I'm saying? Like we were saying in the beginning, we're only here for a certain amount of time. So the knowledge that we have is for to spread, you know, like to give to other people to help them become better, the younger generation. And so I got mad respect for like teachers and shit because it's like, takes a lot to be a teacher and teach the next, you know, wave of the leaders of how we're running things and like how to progress and how to make things better because, you know, that's just who we are, like human nature. That's what we're supposed to do. Yeah. So the sharing of knowledge and the sharing of knowledge. So many people are just so like reluctant to receive it though. I know. And again, that's why I do these podcasts or these interviews on IG Live because there's so many producers out there who are, and I remember being in this point, like, and I'm semi, you know, kind of, you know, I like to say that I still am because I'm still learning, but like, these people want answers, man. They just want to know. They just want to know how I can do it, how I can, progress. And the thing is, I can tell you something that you've already heard before. I can be like, hey, man, you just got to work. Just work hard, right? Just work hard. You already know that. But for me to tell you that, and then you to actually see it happening, like, all right, he's right. Like, you just got to work hard, you know? And it's as simple as that is. Like, it's the most simple thing, you know, work hard. But that's just what it is. You got to work hard. I'm not giving you any, I'm not telling you, you got to do this and you got to I'm not showing you talk to this. No, you just got to work hard, man. Like working hard will get you there because working hard entails you going to the shows and showing your face. Working hard entails you to, I got to stay 3 hours in the studio tonight, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours in the studio tonight because this vocal isn't mixed right. Working hard is, okay, I got to send out my emails today and then tomorrow I got to follow up or, like you have to. I think, okay, so here's the problem with that though. It's like working hard, yeah, but it's just an example. Like, right, no, I get that. But I think people just don't know where to work hard. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you say, go to the show, show face. I got to send out these emails. Like some people just don't know shit about shit on like where to go with it. But like we said, it's trial and error. It's trial and error. Right. You have to go do that so that you know you made that mistake. You have to put that work in. You have to know, all right, I'm trying to do this with my music. Maybe I shouldn't have put it with that label because it didn't really help me out. They didn't really give me too much. Like we weren't like cohesive with each other where I told them I would do this for them and they said they were going to do this for me. But at the end of the day, they didn't really do shit for me. It's like you have to make those mistakes and realize like, okay, this is the route I'm not supposed to take. This is the route I'm supposed to take. Like, perfect example with you when you were doing Inspired, that was the first brand, but you realize how many things that you did wrong in between that made you start Eyes. Yeah. And then you saw all the mistakes that you made in Eyes, and now you're here. Right. With lights and cameras and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. A studio, like you have to make those. So when I say work hard, work hard and try to find your lane because if you try to find your own lane, you're going to realize and accept and really appreciate the one that you find that is correct, that is right for you. Right. When it finally comes around, right? Yeah, you're going to be like, yes, I made all these mistakes and I finally found that route. But it all came down to me saying work hard or put your time into what you love. It's like those little things, they're so broad, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's all you got to do is work hard, whether it's whatever it means to you. If I tell you to work hard, fuck, all right, what does that mean? I gotta make more podcasts. Okay,
I gotta go edit more, make them better. Right?
Yeah, and then you're gonna realize how many mistakes you're making and how you can make this better. And then every time you just get better and better, and that's how you become the individual that you want to be. That's gonna separate you from everyone else, because you saw all of those mistakes you made, and now you can see how you can fix them. And now you've created something that is just true to you, because you see what works for you and your artistry and your brand and your, the people that
Intentions,
you entertain.
right.
Yeah, and you made those mistakes so that you can be better, you know? So that's the way I see it.
Right. How do you find trust to delegate things off to people when you do?
It's hard for me because I have a specific way I see things, and it's, I'm actually I think I'm very easy to work with. I just have, there's a couple things that I want to do. I just want trust. I just want, loyalty in what we're doing. I want full potential, that you believe in the idea. And that's it, man.
Like you giving me your full effort if I'm
that's it, because
right?
I'm going to give you my full effort. I'm going to do exactly what I need to do. I'm going to make these streams, going to make this music. I just want, people around me that are going to be on the same page as me, loving, caring, a person, not a fucking business machine, just for the love of the music. And that will take us to where we need to get to be, because at the end of the day, however far I go, I want to be remembered as the person that, that I am, not a person that I became, and a person that people are like, fuck, dude, this guy sucks. He's only doing this, or he's doing this for this. Like, no, dude, I love this shit. The reason why I'm here is because I fucking love it.
Yeah.
And I want you to love what you do too. I want this whole thing to be a whole circle. Everyone love each other. Everyone do what we know what's best. Let's throw a good fucking show. Let's make good fucking music. Let's make dope artwork. Let's do it all together. Let's just, I just want everyone to have the passion and the drive that I do, because again, at the end of the day, it's like we said, it's who you revolve around yourself around, people who are driven, people who want to make things work.
And in that, like the picture I get in my head with that kind of a thing, whereas we were talking about, you got someone who's up here and someone who's down here, and you got to drag them.
Yeah.
In that respect, sometimes it's like you're up here, you got someone in a different lane who's right here. You can toss them a quick hand and be like, yep. You know what I mean? You can toss them a quick hand and help lift them up, bring them up with you, and they'll do the same. And when everyone's kind of doing that with each other, you just see this constant rise. When you have a group around you that's all, you know what I mean, putting in the same amount of effort and willing to support one another because they believe in each other.
Yeah.
That's where you see this kind of like...
Well, the thing is with that is that I don't think you need to throw a hand. I think that what happens is that naturally the people that you revolve yourself around, and this is why I'm actually pretty glad that I have the friends that I have that are, music producers, is that, I don't have to throw a hand, or they don't have to throw a hand to me. I see them make music, and it makes me want to put my hand out to that ledge that they're on and pull myself up.
Just like grab on
and pull up myself, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, I would rather, how should I say this? I would rather, when I really need it, I would rather, if I ever did, then I would rather them be like, okay, Moses makes really good music. I'm on this label. I know they'll like him. Here, bro, come over here. Then there's the hand.
You're the type of person too that would rather not ask people for help if you don't need to. And I realize that with you, because you're definitely the kind of person that would rather do it yourself if you can, rather than ask people for the help. And anytime you do ask anything of anyone, you do it in a way that is...
I'm still helping them when
that's your first intention. You can tell too.
Yeah, because I wanna learn everything, man. I want to know how to do it all. Like, I want to know the business in and out. I want to know how to do everything on my own, because at the end of the day, if everything crushes under you and falls under you, you got to be able to float, and you got to be able to do your thing, whether it's business or music, or you got to be able to have that structure for yourself, especially when you're running a business. Like, you got to be able to know if things hit the fucking fan, then you can be like, all right, you know what, guys?
Build a good foundation
I got
for
this.
yourself.
I know exactly how this works. All right, we're going to do this. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. Yeah, like...
That's the problem I have with a lot of people picking up hustles nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a hustle is a good way to make a grip of cash, like make some money. You know what I mean? Like, get yourself in a place where like you're working, you're grinding, you're doing something. Mm-hmm. But a hustle doesn't have a good foundation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? A hustle is just like a way to get the car going. You're getting those RPMs up. You're getting it moving. Yeah. But when that car stops and turns off, are you going to be able to start it back up again? Is the problem. You know what I mean?
That's a good analogy.
So it's like. I would rather spend 3 years, 4 years building a really, 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 really solid foundation, and then building a beautiful house on top of it.
Yeah.
rather than spending 3 years building a beautiful house with no foundation. Because if anything happens, like you're saying,
That shit's crushing. Yeah,
you're done.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And rebuilding is going to be that much harder.
Yeah, man. And then you can. I mean, it's kind of like it's a tale of time. Like, look at the greats, man. Like, those guys put in work day in, day out, whether they're football players or basketball players or, you know, they run a business or whatever. It's like Kobe Bryant, man, like, you know, shooting in the gym, he's building that foundation just for him so that when he goes out there and builds that beautiful home, it's going to be flawless for himself.
Right. And it's going to stand on something that's worth standing on.
And it's going to be something that he's proud of because he knows the ins and outs of his game. He's worked on it. It's not something that he needs, you know, he gets the help, but like, he has
trust in himself too. Yeah. And trust.
And I'm sure, you know, RIP my boy Kobe, but like, I'm sure like he was in the ins and outs of the business of his shoe company of Nike.
I don't doubt
and
that.
Doing like everything with, you know, like the designs and like everything with his foundation. Like he was probably right under there figuring it all out and trying to find out how to be the best at that as well. You know, even though he's just a basketball player.
You know, one of the beauties of doing that too is like when you educate yourself on another aspect of what's related to your, like, for example, with you, you're a musician. Mm-hmm. Graphics are directly related to you.
Yeah.
They're related to your brand, but they're not directly what you do.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when you teach yourself about how graphics work, about graphic design, about all these different things, then you're more capable of putting the proper amount of trust into whoever you're delegating to, right? And being like, look, I know enough to understand that you know what you're doing, and I'm going to give you that creative trust and creative delegation to like do what you need to do, and I'm going to trust you with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you give people who are when you give people who know what they're doing enough space, they'll do a better job than when you're breathing down their neck. So it's really important, again, to go back and understand the means of operation of things. Build your foundation. Know what you're doing. Know what's going on around you. Have an eye on everything. Don't be like anal about it, but also like know what's going on around you. Be cognizant of everything going on around you.
Yeah, man.
So
I agree. You just gotta teach a man how to fish. Fucking never
teach a man how to
You know,
teach a man how to fish.
He'll never be hungry. He'll just always be able to eat. So
yeah. We're pulling up on an hour.
Oh man,
time flies.
I see you, boy.
All right, we can go as long as we want, bro.
Oh man, I'm good. What's
up
with the?
I was about to say, you got any questions, any topics you want to bring up?
Yeah, man. I can't wait to get through this quarantine. Seriously, I'm like fed up. I'm not fed up, but I just can't wait to see people. I can't wait shows, man. I just miss shows, man. Like again, like I said in the beginning, this is something that like shows is how I really fell in love with this stuff. And I really, when I'm at shows, I really think about the production and everything around it. So I'm like, man, I kind of miss that part of all of it. You know, it's something
you feed off people too, though. Like energetically, you feed off people too. So
yeah, man, I know exactly what it feels like to be in that crowd. And then when I'm up there, I depict myself when I play. Like I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna play what I want to play, but I also think about the people down there and like how they want to feel.
Yeah.
When you come to a Noises show, bro, it's, you know, I'm putting on the vibes. Like I'm going dark, I'm going deep, I'm going heavy if I need to, I'm going light. Like I'm going everywhere, bro, around the spectrum. I'm just trying to give everyone the emotions, you know what I'm saying?
Take you on a roller coaster.
Yeah, and like I don't know, man. And I miss giving that feeling to people because, you know, like there's songs that make you feel those ways, and there's places and shows that you go to that make you feel that way. You know, I could potentially be that for somebody and make them feel that way, and I just want to give that energy out, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like what I'm passionate about, and I love doing it, and yeah, I can't wait for this
time
year.
For it to go,
yeah, I can't wait for this year, man. Like, right now, I just been doing the live streams at home every Saturday. I mean, you helped me run one.
Yeah,
shit was fun, man. I had a great time. I was sweating my ass off.
Yeah, you were. I think this quarantine will be good for people though. At the end of it all, like people might be frustrated right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like at the end of it, it'll be good for people to kind of have had some time to like recenter and figure out what they want to do. Have some extra time to think really about what they've been doing and where they want to go, and then kind of like, you know what I mean? Get off on a new foot.
I feel like everyone's gonna be hella like, which is kind of good, but at the same time, kind of like could be kind of scary. Everyone's gonna be so like OCD about being like, oh, I can't sit there, or I need to wipe this down, or my hands feel dirty. I mean, I just feel like everyone's now like so like get away from me, and like I really don't want people to feel like everyone is sick.
I haven't really felt like that in Arizona so far. Yeah,
have you eaten out yet?
Yeah, me and Katiana went out last night and got dinner.
Oh yeah,
and
you guys all separated?
No, I mean, they separated the booths, so every other booth was filled, but the tables they had fine. When you have something like this happen, you're setting a precedent for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, it's clear that there are going to be some things that stay different forever. Mm-hmm. But I really don't think it's going to have that much of a social impact. If you know what I'm saying. I mean, I don't think it will.
Casa's already popping off, so.
When is Casa not popping off?
I don't know. I was about to go over there and beat the shit out of everybody. I like go up there. Hey, what the fuck?
Go home. Yeah. I got friends who were out at the club getting bottles and stuff last night.
Fucking Fabio? Fabio's bitch ass? Fabio was at the club.
I mean, I'm not going to say he wasn't. So, yeah, I don't know. No judgment, nothing there.
Oh, yeah, no judgment. If you want to go do that, that's on you, man. That's your life, you know?
At the same time, though, I from a social aspect, I really don't think people are going to change that much.
No, I hope not.
I think that by rule, you know what I mean? Maybe the clubs and stuff, like once the state government, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like the state government, as far as social things are going, is not doing anything because of the virus. They're doing things because of the backlash from the federal government on how they're, you know what I mean? So it'll be weird to see all that play out. Politics is a nasty game.
It's all fucked up, man, honestly.
Politics is a nasty game.
All I know is that whoever's listening, if you're gonna this year, I mean, the only reason why I'm saying this because I got shit on by a friend, which it makes a lot of sense, and it's kind of like awakening,
a moment,
a wake up call. I can't even speak right now.
Yeah.
Young generation, we need to vote. You know, like we need to vote. We need to have our voices heard because I feel like a lot of us aren't. And somebody got on my ass about it, and I was thinking about it. I was like, damn, that's true. It's like there's so many young generation who are just not. They don't have enough information, and yet so they feel stupid or they feel like they shouldn't.
Or like their vote doesn't matter.
But their vote, everyone vote matters. Like my girlfriend voted, and I was like, I'll be honest, I didn't vote. But when I heard about, you know, the outlook on how they had and how they felt about it, I was like, you know, maybe I should have voted, you know, maybe I should have had a voice about what I want to see my future look like, you know?
Right.
But yeah, man.
But educate yourself if you're going to vote first.
Yeah. Educate yourself.
Make sure you know what you're voting for if you're going to vote.
Yeah, educate yourself and
you should vote.
Yeah.
But educate yourself.
Educate yourself first and then vote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but we ain't gonna get on some voting shit. So.
You're like, I don't want to talk about politics right now.
Politics are crazy, man.
Politics are crazy, bro. So. It doesn't. I used to think about why there's a major for politics, and now I completely understand because that is like its own universe, bro. Like shit's even wild. If you understand politics, you don't understand politics.
Yeah, it's just a lot of shit going on. Sometimes it's shit that we don't know, and sometimes they feed us shit that is we don't even know if it's real or not. So It's like, you know, at the end of the day, just educate yourself on what you believe is right and
what information is available to you.
Yeah, and whatever you feel is, you know, comfortable for your life and how you perceive things, and there you go from there.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm gonna. I think we're gonna call this a podcast, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I mean, you can trash this podcast if you want.
Nah, bro. If anything, we're gonna have you on multiple more times in the future, man.
Hell yeah, man.
Have you revisit whenever you're bored and you just want to come chop it up.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, let's talk some shit. Absolutely. I appreciate you having me. Thank you. This is actually really dope. I'm glad that what you're doing to the space. Space looks nice.
Heck yeah.
I'm glad that you're putting in the work to make it better because I know exactly where you came from and where you're at now, and this looks amazing, dude. Like I'm very proud of you. So.
I appreciate that, bro.
Congratulations.
That's a genuine smile on my face. All right, guys. Thank you guys for chopping up with us. Chopping it up. Make sure you go follow him on Instagram next time he chops it up with an artist.
Instagram at Noises International. Come through, or Noises INTL. We talk to artists from around the world, man. You know, if you're a music producer coming up and you're just trying to get your ins and just need some inspiration on something, come through, man.
Shoot him a DM.
Shit's
chop
hot,
it up, talk to him.
Yeah, come through.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys checking this one out. We'll be back in another 2 weeks with another episode. I believe the one after this will be Echo Nova or actually Bella, who's another vocalist that Jason is working with now.
Nice.
The order of the podcast might get switched up a little bit here based on priority, but we will definitely be back with another one.
Hell yeah.
And I'll check in with you guys then.
Woo!